Hello students, let us take up the July 24 mock test paper. Let us take up some descriptive question. Expert Industries Limited is engaged in petrochemical business, and due to the nature of its business, the company has hired PQR Associates, a reputed firm of chartered engineers, to determine the quantity and the valuation of inventory for the preparation of financial statement. So they are into petrochemical business and they have hired a chartered engineer. Now, from the perspective for the valuation of inventory, it means what? They have hired a chartered engineer. That is one thing actually. Okay, fine. They have hired a chartered engineer. But here, what you can make out, my dear soldiers, is that once they have hired the what you can say the chartered engineer, and that's the thing actually here. So now what has happened? The company has gone ahead and hired the chartered engineer. That's the thing here. So what I'm trying to make you understand, my dear soldiers, is that once they have hired the what you can say the chartered engineer, they are nothing but considered as an expert. They are expert. Now, who is an expert? Expert is an individual or organization which has got specialized skill and in-depth knowledge in any area other than accounts and auditing. Okay, so expert is a person who has got specialized knowledge and skill, who has in-depth knowledge in any area other than the accounts and auditing. That is what we understand by expert. That's the meaning of a expert. That's the thing actually. So that is what you need to understand, my dear soldiers. So expert is some person who has got specialized knowledge and skill, who has got in-depth knowledge in any area other than the accounts and auditing. That is what we understand by expert. So take example of a lawyer, engineer, okay, architect, actuary. They are all considered as an expert. Here we have a chartered engineer for the purpose of valuation of inventory. See, ultimately they will give a report on the quantity and valuation of inventory, which we will check that whether it is a sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to obtain a reasonable assurance to draw a conclusion on the item of the financial statement, that is the inventory. So in such case, how do you, that's what we have to highlight actually, okay. Now the expert, he does the valuation. That valuation will be used as what come out as an audit evidence. Now, the auditor of Expert Industries Limited want to use the same as audit evidence. That's what I was trying to tell you. That once this valuation report is given by the chartered engineer, our auditor, they want to use it as a audit evidence. So SA 500, it highlights that when an entity employs and engages an expert, and the auditor can rely upon the work of expert provided it is satisfied that it is a sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. It is a sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, and where he obtains a reasonable assurance so that he can express an opinion on the financial statement. Okay. So now, my dear soldiers, what happens is that in this case, actually, here, so can he use it as an audit evidence? Answer is yes. He can always use it as an audit evidence. It is very much permitted to use it as an audit evidence. So, before using the work of PQR Associates, management expert, what aspects should be taken care by the auditor? So, what auditor should consider? He should evaluate the competence, capability, and objectivity of that expert. That's the thing here. So, the auditor should look into the competence, capability, and objectivity of the expert. So what is the competence? What is the capability of the expert? And what is the competence of the expert? You have to obtain an understanding of the work of that expert. So, first is whether the expert is competent, capable. Okay, is he competent? Is he capable? And whether there is an objectivity involved here. And you need to obtain the understanding of the work of the expert. Further, you have to evaluate the appropriateness of the expert work as audit evidence for the relevant assertion. So, is it appropriate? Whether the expert work is appropriate or not, that you have to check. That you have to examine. That's the thing actually. So, whether I can use the work of the expert, my dear soldiers, whether the expert's work is appropriate or not, that as an auditor we have to check. That's the thing actually here. Okay, so this is the thing here. So first thing, competence, capability, and objectivity of the expert. Expert should be unbiased. Second thing, obtain the understanding of the expert's work. evaluate the appropriateness of that expert's work. Is it appropriate as an audit evidence for a relevant assertion? So, can I use that expert work as an audit evidence? So, for a particular assertion, that is what it highlights actually. Okay. So, this is what you have to highlight. This is coming from SA 500 audit evidence. Okay. Good question there. I mean, that's the thing here. Okay. Yeah. So, expert is somebody who evaluates the audit evidence. That's what expert does actually here. So, but expert's work we have to use in special circumstances. Okay, so